back to another video. In case you can't tell, the background here does not match the video description. I'm actually on my way to the bay, but I got about a quarter of a mile walk ahead of me. You can see behind me though, that's snow, and that's why I got the winter hat on, because it's about 39 degrees with a 20-mile-an-hour wind today, even though it's April. With that said, I'm gonna get walking and I'll see you guys down on the bay. Well guys, we have made it out here. I don't think the wind's gonna calm down at all while we're out here, but that's all right. You guys gotta see this scenery. How I get these oysters is pretty simple. It's about the same way as I was getting the mussels the other day. It's not always this easy, but I'm thinking that I'll be able to find enough, at least for what I need, by just picking them up by hand off the shoreline here. So with that said, let's go see what we can find. The only real gear that I'm using for this is just some rubber gloves. I got some waterproof boots on, and I'm just putting them in this basket. You also need special licenses. It's not just like the mussels where you can go out and kind of get what you want. So always check with your fishing game before you go out and do it. Make sure it's open, number one, that you have the proper licensing, number two. All right, that looks like two good ones right there. I'm actually seeing quite a lot of these dead ones out here. I'm not really sure what's going on with that, if it's maybe they had a die off or maybe that's just something that happens, but there's definitely a lot of them that are just cracked open like they weren't touched or anything. They're just laying there dead, undisturbed by humans. So this is what I'm talking about right here. See how he's just like cracked open at the hinge? He obviously wasn't harvested by a human, because a human would have taken half the shell off. So I'm not sure. They're definitely dying like in place out here, but there's just a ton of them. It's like he's still, even his muscles are still tough. He's still in there. He was just dead. It's like a fresh dead. I'm not sure if they're like having a big die off or what. I mean, shell fishing's open, so I am seeing some that are alive down at the water though. That one might be a good one. Just got a little shell attached to him, but we'll clean them up later. Nice cup or whatever you want to call it. I'm no oyster aficionado or expert or anything like that. I just know enough to come out here, get them, bring them home and eat them. So just by the look of them, you can usually tell pretty quick, differentiating all these dead ones from the live ones. There's no size requirements on these, by the way, but it's measured as a volume. It's a half of a bushel a day, which is the equivalent of about this basket. So you can take little ones, you can take big ones, whatever size you want, whatever size you can get it. Look at this one. Imagine how old that thing is. That must have broken off like some big reef or something to be that big up here. Perfect timing, I guess. That's the end of oystering for the day. I set an alarm to make sure I didn't go right by it. The wind dropped off on us, which is really nice, because there's one thing I hate, that's wind. I'm just gonna give these guys a quick rinse here. Try and not disappear into the mud. That should be good. Clean them up a little bit, save some time later. That's what I ended up with though. I'd say a third of my limit. Overall though, guys, I mean, that's a pretty darn good day, I'd say. And there's beautiful scenery out here. This weather is absolutely perfect to me. It's like probably, I don't know, 35 degrees now, but just chilly enough to the point that you don't sweat, and you're also pretty comfortable as well if you dress for it. I'm gonna try and get back to the truck here, because I got a little bit of a walk out of here and I didn't bring any flashlights or anything like that. But I should have about 30 minutes of solid light left. It's just about sunset right now, so look at those mergansers flying by. Okay, I think I misjudged the amount of time it would take me to get out of here by just a little bit. It's pretty dang dark out here now. Almost there. All right, we made it back to the truck, guys. Next time, remind me to bring a flashlight. It is now the next day. My plan here is to fry them, so I'm gonna get to shucking and I'll kind of show you what I'm doing, and then we're gonna bring them inside and cook them up. The knife that I use to do this is just an oyster shucking knife, and then all I'm doing is I'm putting the oysters inside of this towel. That kind of gives me a better grip. I'm not a professional shucker or anything like that. I think we already went over that. I'm moving them from there over to here, discarding the shells, and I'm gonna put the clean oysters in here inside their little liquor and everything. Here's the hinge of the oyster, And all I'm doing is taking the shucking knife, finding like the center point of that hinge, wedging in there just enough until it can support itself. Put them inside of this, and then just don't over leverage or anything like that. All I'm doing is just turning that knife until it pops. There's no forward pressure, so I'm not going to jab myself or anything like that. This one released. Now I go down and release the top muscle there. That should free him from the shell. That's a good looking oyster right there. Discard that shell. Release the bottom here. If obviously if you were doing him raw, now he's free inside the shell, so you could Tabasco him up or anything like that. He's got all that nice liquor in there. I'm just taking the oysters here, putting them into some just regular flour, nothing special with it, some egg wash, and then into some yellow cornmeal with garlic powder and onion powder. And then just getting them ready. As you can see, some are falling apart a little bit, but I don't care, it'll all cook up the same. I'm not going to leave them in too long. I'm not too worried about undercooking them, rather just overcooking them. Just giving these guys a quick flip. Yeah, I'm saying that's about enough on them. A little bit of tartar sauce. That's good stuff, guys. If you guys have the opportunity to get out there and get your own oysters, I highly suggest that you guys give it a shot. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe if you want to see more videos from me in the future. As always, guys, remember, live free, fish more.